live?
We're live.
Hi, welcome to date night. We are so excited that you decided to spend a Wednesday night date night here with us. My name is Brooke. This is my husband, Dustin, and we have 6 couples on here tonight whose lives have all been changed by these incredible products and this amazing opportunity. So we're going to get to share some of that with you tonight, and we all have prizes. So before we get started, I want to tell you a little bit about how tonight is going to work. If you look over to the right, you'll see a chat box. That's where the prizes are going to be given away, and that's where you're going to get to be entered into those prizes. So go ahead and look at that chat box now and type prizes so that you can test it out. So what are they going to type, honey?
Prizes.
So type prizes in the chat box, and we're just going to share with you tonight a little glimpse of our stories in hopes of inspiring you to dream bigger with your Valentine, to dream bigger for your life, for your future, for your kids, and just to dream bigger. So that's what we hope to inspire you tonight. And then you'll comment the questions, the answers to the questions each couple asks you in the chat box to the right. And then Diamond Bound Best Life, that's going to be the name that's going to draw the winner. If that person randomly draws you as a winner, you'll email your name, the prize that you won, your email address, and your mailing address to plexusprizes@gmail.com. plexusprizes@gmail.com. So do we have people commenting prizes?
We do.
Okay, awesome. So let's get started. Go ahead, honey.
Yeah, absolutely. So first, I'll tell you about how we met. So my family was actually missionaries up in Montana, and we were on a Rocky Boy Indian reservation up there. And this one actually showed up for a missions trip. And I first saw her at this little restaurant called 4B's in Havre, Montana. And I saw her smile and looked across. She was at an opposite table and different things. And I saw her smile, and my first thought was, there's no way this girl's going to talk to me. She's completely out of my league. She still is, but somehow I talked her into marrying me. So go me. And that's how we met. The rest is history. She ended up going to college, and I talked her into sticking it out. So
Awesome. Okay. And I only broke up with him, I think, 4 times while we were dating. So he didn't have to do that much. 4 times. So he didn't have to do that much convincing.
yeah,
But
right.
anyway, okay. So tonight we are giving away a restaurant gift card so that you can have your very own date night out. So over in the comment box, go ahead and write where you are watching from. So we're here in Pensacola, Florida. Tell us where you're watching from, and that will get you entered to win tonight's prize. And we're just going to go ahead and get started right into our story. So when we found Plexus, I was a happy kindergarten teacher, but I was also a really sick kindergarten teacher. I started to get daily headaches and fevers. I was getting sick all of the time, got strep throat and bronchitis probably 4 or 5 times a year. I couldn't lift my left shoulder, didn't know what was happening, but I couldn't lift it. I was gaining weight no matter what I tried, anxious, depressed, and nothing was helping.
Yeah, when we first tried Plexus, we were super skeptical. I had already researched many other health companies, and without fail, always found something in it that was wrong that would prevent us from taking the stuff. By the time that Plexus was brought to our attention, we pretty much just said no right away.
Yeah, I was already trying all of the things. I was going to a personal trainer. I was trying like $300 to $400 a month of natural supplements. I was getting all the tests, going to physical therapy, and just nothing was working. And I felt pretty hopeless. I thought that was going to be my new normal.
Yeah, while she was trying all kinds of stuff, I was going ahead and researching all the ingredients in Plexus and the science behind it. Found out that it really was safe. Really started thinking maybe this stuff could actually work. And I really found out it does what we were already trying to accomplish through all kinds of other diets and stuff. It balances out your hormones and gets your gut healthy.
Yes. So finally, as I was trying 40-day juice fast, which if you love juicing to get some extra nutrients in, that's awesome. But I don't recommend drinking grass for 40 days straight, hoping that it helps you. So I remember sitting on the couch, crying into my 40th day cup of grass, truly telling my husband that he was going to have to look for a new wife because I didn't think I was going to last much longer. And meanwhile, he told me that he had actually been researching Plexus. So he walked into our kitchen, mixed up my very first pink drink. And I like to say that while nothing changes overnight, that first pink drink and the day that I said yes to Plexus truly was the day that I said yes to freedom.
Yeah, it really was life-changing. I'll never forget the first time she slept through the night, because it had been about 2.5 years. She would whimper and cry through the night. And I remember the first time I woke up in the morning and we had slept through the night. And it was just an amazing feeling, because that is a life change right there. It really did change our lives. I've lost 30 pounds. My cholesterol got under control, blood pressure, had a heart arrhythmia that got all kind of symptoms that got under control, just IBS. It's really helped with so many things.
And for me, I've lost 65 pounds so far. No more daily headaches or fevers. I can lift my arm again. Anxiety gone. Headaches gone. It truly has changed everything. So when something changes your life that much, it's very natural that you want to tell the people that you love, right? But like many of you that might be watching, I was really skeptical about the business side of it, so I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, if you can't tell already, I'm a researcher. Like, I research the ingredients, and I went ahead and researched the comp plan and compared it to over 20 different companies. And I really saw the value of Plexus, the 11 ways that we get paid, and that it's set up for stability through the profit sharing system, that it's really, really set up for good long-term income. And so I really thought, excuse me, it was just a really super generous comp plan. And I had every bit of confidence that she could do it.
So because he told me that I could do it, I started sharing with everyone. And actually what I realized was that most people are suffering in silence like I was, looking for an answer, praying for an answer. And so just in sharing with people what this did for me and what I thought that it could do for them, I started to make an income. I remember my first month, I made enough to cover our rent 3 times. The second month, I made enough that would cover a mortgage. So we started looking for a house instead of living in the 1-bedroom apartment we'd been living in forever. My third month, I matched my teaching salary, and from there, everything has changed for us. I've been able to retire from the classroom. We've been able to build a house. So this one has the opportunity to retire whenever he wants to. And we've also started a ministry that has always been on his heart.
Yeah, it's really been amazing. To say this has changed our lives would be a complete understatement. It's just given us opportunity and choices that we never would have had before. It's just been amazing.
And one thing I love best is that our story is not that unique. There are thousands of other people whose lives are being changed through this same opportunity and these same products. And that's why I'm really excited that you're going to get to hear from several more of my friends tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the torch to a couple that many of you may already know and love. They are going to leave you laughing all night long. So take it away, Susie and Chris.
Hi. Yeah, we are so. Did you unmute us?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
I did. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Oh, just.
What
can
happened?
they hear us?
Can you hear us?
They can hear us. Okay.
Hey, so listen up. Hey, we were sitting here talking right before this started. Susie and I got in a big fight. She was upset about not going in the car. Anyways, here we are. We're going to talk to you guys tonight, right, Susie?
Hey, this is real life. We've been married 26 years. What?
Yeah.
What?
That's a long time.
We should be having some kind of award or
a
party
parade.
or
Somebody give fireworks, please.
Okay, so we met in a class called Social Problems.
How
at
perfect
the University
is that?
of Oklahoma.
Social problems, right?
Can't make that up.
Yeah.
And Chris, what did you say the minute you saw me?
I actually said to my fraternity brother that was sitting right next to me, I had no desire to get married. I was not interested in marriage, but I looked at my buddy and I go, I'm going to marry that chick right there. Just like that.
And then he stalked me. True
I did.
Story.
Hey, there was restraining orders involved, okay? But she got over that stuff. We moved through it.
So we did get married, and we were clearly like 10 when we got married.
Yeah, we had 4 or 5 kids prior to that. I go, hey, we should probably tie the knot, huh?
Yeah, that's not true. We do have 4 kids, but we got married very early. Okay, I have to read this really quick, and then we're going to tell our Plexus part of our story.
Do it, Suze.
To be entered to win an Amazon gift card. What?
Yep.
Who doesn't like Amazon?
Right.
Comment a 1 in the chat box if it was love at first sight. If it wasn't love at first sight, comment a 2. If it was slow and steady.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with slow and
If you're
steady.
struggling like me and need help, comment help.
That's a whole nother Google Hangout.
Suze, let's talk about Plexus. Let's talk about how Plexus changed
everything. Do you have a timer? I told you to set a timer because we will talk too long.
Okay.
So here's what happened to us.
After the intermission, you guys come back. No, I'm kidding.
So we have all these kids I was a stay-at-home mom. We were in the mortgage industry
Yes.
when it was really good.
Yes.
And then I don't know if some of you will remember this, but what happened to the mortgage business?
Well,
Chris?
the mortgage industry crashed, and the McCall house crashed with it.
We took
And
it down.
what's really crazy is I thought we would be in the mortgage business forever. And so when it crashed, I thought, wow, that was weird. I had planned out 50 years in that business. And so when that went under, I looked around, I thought, I did not know what we were going to do. I mean, as a family and as the leader of the household, I did the only thing I knew to do, and that was start a male stripping career. Listen, you guys, it was failing miserably, okay? Failing. Susie was my best customer.
Clearly we were starving, if that was the case. So
we're hungry. Okay.
So to make a long story short,
yes.
We literally stumbled onto Plexus.
Yeah.
One of my friends posted about how she had quit her Dr. Pepper habit.
Yep.
At this point, I had started teaching fitness classes. We were doing lots of different things to keep a roof over our kids' heads, basically. And so I ordered the pink drink just because I could not quit Diet Dr. Pepper. Here I was, I thought very healthy.
Yep.
I thought I ate pretty healthy. I exercised, I ran marathons, but I couldn't quit Diet Dr. Pepper.
Thank you, Lord.
My husband was super, super not healthy.
No,
in fact, he loved to rub my face in how unhealthy he was.
So I would get a Big Mac and I would dip it in butter just to make her cringe. Okay, you understand what I'm talking about, right? This would drive her mad. I would do all kinds. She would run a marathon and I would sit in my recliner saying, I'm going to go for a 26-hour record. Leave me alone. I mean, I was not healthy.
So we had two major fights in our marriage.
Yes.
One was his unhealth, and two was finances.
Yes.
And so even though we had come out of the pit of doom of the mortgage crisis, I just kind of always assumed that we would, live paycheck to paycheck, and that, we had 4 kids and college was looming and braces and cars and insurance. And if you just have little kids, just wait.
And so when you're married to somebody, as long as I've been married to this one, she was so healthy that all of a sudden, this is what she had taught me up until Plexus, because we had no supplement experience at all.
Zero.
But she would say, look, there's one way to do it, Chris. You eat right and you exercise. That's it.
I believe
And so when all of a sudden she started suggesting that we start drinking this pink stuff, I was mocking it. I mean, I'm on Facebook poofing out my cheeks going, Susie says I'm going to drink this pink stuff and it's going to transform me. And then I'd come back an hour later, I'm holding my cheeks. I go, you guys, this stuff is amazing. You got to get some. And I thought it was so funny. No products. But once again, I was so skeptical. So if you're watching this and you were skeptical, I get you. I'm with you. I was the biggest skeptic alive, don't you think?
Yes, he was.
So here's really when things went crazy. The product started working. I had to do what I called my post of shame, where I came out on Facebook and I was going, okay, you guys, I'm sleeping like a champion and I've lost 8 pounds this week. Susie would say, quit telling people how much weight you're losing because it takes women longer, right?
Oh, yes, it does. All the women go, amen.
Yeah.
It takes women longer. And for me, it wasn't about getting skinny quick. I've never been about that. It was about getting healthy. And so with Plexus, I will stand by that. You are getting healthy from the inside out, and weight loss is a side effect.
Yes, I was looking to get skinny because I felt like I was a chunky monkey and I had no energy. But here's the deal. When the product started working, this business just kind of came about. We had never logged into our back office. We didn't know how you made money. We didn't look at the comp plan. We had done something in the business where we had brought on a lot of people onto our team because we were telling them that what the products were doing for us. So there is no... you don't have to be a salesperson. You can just tell people what the products are doing for you and the people around you. Now, what got kind of weird is when Plexus back then, when they first joined Plexus, they sent us a check.
Real paper check.
And Susie's getting lots of emails because we're referring lots of people to go to this website and order these products that we're loving. And all of a sudden, Susie goes, I think we're making money. And I looked right at Susie and I go, oh gosh, babe, nobody makes any money in those things. I said, please. And I called it those things. I said, maybe enough money to take the kids to the movies. Well, I'll never forget it. We're standing at our mailbox. I rip open our first check from Plexus and my jaw drops. I looked at Susie and I go, oh my gosh, I think we've done something illegal. I could not believe that we could earn that type of income. We could have paid our mortgage 4 times.
It was real income.
It was real money. Yeah. And so I told Suze, I go, cash that thing, because who knows whether this is still going to be good. and then here we are 5 years later. Now we know all about the company and we know about the legacy aspect of the company. But our passion is finding people who are looking to create freedom in their life.
Oh, gosh. Okay. It looks like they dropped out of the call really quickly. Okay. I'm just going to jump right in. My name is Becky Page. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Perfect. My name is Becky Page. This is my husband, Russ Page. And we have been married for 13 years. I'm still laughing because I was really into the McCall story. All right. We're just going to roll with it. We've been married for 13 years, and we met at Texas Tech University at a Phi Delt fraternity party. Russ was there on a date with one of my roommates and pledge sisters. And we were friends for 11 years before we ever went on our first date. So I'm supposed to tell y'all, oh, I've got to read it really quick. Oh, Susie just sent us a link saying she got kicked off. So sorry about that, y'all. We're rolling with it. Okay, so we're going to do a giveaway tonight for our end. Here it is. So to be entered to win an Amazon gift card, just comment in the chat box and tell us your favorite place to go on a date on date night. Okay, so just to share a little bit about our story, we got involved with Plexus, like I said, 5 years ago. And at the time, if you would have told us that we'd have any sort of future with a network marketing company, we just would have been real offended. I mean, we just would have been really, really annoyed with you and super offended. At the time, we were both working professionals. I was a licensed counselor and owned my own private practice. Russ was an attorney. And so we were not interested. To say we were skeptical is such an understatement. So right off the bat, I think Russ was the one to probably recognize the benefits in the comp plan. And I'll tell you that from the very beginning, he was the person that told me, look, we can do this. This is possible. You can do this. I see you working up to the top level. And I just thought, babe, there is no way. Besides the fact that I work full-time and we have full-time childcare at home, and I'm literally in my office every single day, not only could I not answer my phone, because who wants to see a therapist that takes a phone call or much less tries to sign up a new ambassador while you're in your therapy session? I had my phone off.
Before you even got there, you wanted to keep it a secret.
Yes.
She wanted to take the products, have success, and just kind of say, I did it on my own. And then when all of a sudden the product started working and her friends started making money and she started receiving these checks, like the McCalls were saying, the checks started rolling in, and all of a sudden she starts realizing, I probably better post something about this on Facebook. And even then she was conflicted, because so that would be a conflict of interest with her career. And then she just kind of embraced it and ran with it.
Yeah. So I was so nervous. Russ was the one that I have to say, I don't know that I would have stuck with it without his support and without him cheering me on. Right away, he did what most attorney-minded people do, and he developed like an Excel spreadsheet, and he just started tracking everything. And so he would say, you have this many people join your team today. This is what your check's going to look like. If we keep this up, this is what we'll be able to pay off in the next few months. And I remember coming to God in prayer, and really just like a half-hearted prayer. God, you know, the biggest thing for me would be if I could ever pay our mortgage with my check. I just think we were two working professionals. We were busy parents. And I thought paying the mortgage would probably, you know, max us out as far as success with the company. And literally within, I think, 6 weeks, that was accomplished. And so we were just blown away. And I bet if you'd ask some of these other couples on the call, like there was a season where it almost felt like we were playing the lottery. Like we'd check our bank accounts to see what we were getting paid. And it was just like, are you kidding me? Where did this come from? How did this happen? Anything to add to that?
Nothing but gratitude.
Yeah, we're just super grateful. So for us, it's been, I will say this, since we want to be vulnerable. I mean, it can be so hard to have a home-based business, especially a network marketing business. It can be hard on a marriage for multiple reasons. Ironically, the whole time that I was working my way to Diamond, since I was a licensed therapist and I specialized in marriage counseling, we would often get into a fight, and typically about like the division of labor in our house, or who's going to be responsible for what, or keeping tabs. You did this, you did that, you know, tit for tat fights. I'd go into therapy session and have marriage counseling with some couple, and I'd come out and text Russ, I'm so sorry, I love you so much, thank you for all you do. It's an example of like, if everyone threw their problems in on a table, you would be so quick to snatch yours back and hold on to them. I would tell you, if you've got an interest in doing this and you're not really on the same page as a couple, it will be very difficult, because each of you is going to be called to sacrifice and to lay your ego down on the altar and to...
Yeah, and I can actually speak into that one for whatever guys are on the call. The male ego is extremely fragile. I can speak from experience as an egotistical attorney. A type B, wannabe type A male. I was really I didn't acknowledge it at the time, but I was probably threatened, because I was the main income earner in our house. And I always thought I would be from childhood on. So that's kind of why I went to law school, was just to earn a great income for the family. And when all of a sudden my wife starts not only outpacing me, but doubling my income, it gets a little humbling. And so you can either, you know, fight against the tide, or you can embrace it and join your wife and become a good team. And I don't know of any other business where you as a husband and wife can embrace the team aspect and really benefit your family.
Yeah. And I would say, just, you know, also for the health of your family, if you're doing this for your family's goals, then for each of you guys to lay aside ego and just embrace the opportunity and be thankful and run at it together and take good care of each other too, which is what tonight's all about. So next, we're going to pass the baton to our friends, the Folks. Can't wait to hear from them. And thanks for having us on the call.
Yay! Thanks, Pages. Okay, this is so fun. I'm loving hearing everyone's story. So I'm Rebekah Folks, and this is Eli Folks. Hey.
Hello.
And so we met a little bit differently. We met because of Plexus. That's right. Eli was on my Plexus team. And so we're kind of newlyweds, so we probably should have done some more communication before this call, because now I'm going, whatever. Okay, so so we met through Plexus, and Eli married up. He was a silver, and he married a diamond, and our friend Timmy let him scoot under my team. So that worked out well. And then we have our so we want to know, how long have you been with your Valentine? And we have $50 cash up for grabs for a date night. So if that wants to go to a babysitter or dinner or a date night in, whatever that looks like. But we want to know how long you've been with your Valentine. I found Plexus about 5.5 years ago, and I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had 3 little kids. I literally grew up saying I just wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. All her friends were, and she would say, you have to go to college because that might not work out for you. But I went, and I ended up having like 3 babies in 3 years. And I was a stay-at-home mom for almost 10 years. And I was doing Plexus. And then I actually found, I was looking for a network marketing company. I knew that I was at home. I loved Facebook. I loved connecting with people, and that just looked fun to me. I thought I loved seeing women that were all together. I'm always drawn to a crowd of women that are doing something together. That always draws me in. And so that just looked fun to me. And my mom, I was living in Pennsylvania, and my mom kept telling me that she was drinking this pink drink, and she had all this energy, and she lost weight. And so then I get this really, really, really long message from a friend that's telling me all about a network marketing company. And I looked at it, and I kind of compared it to some compensation plans that I'd seen before. And she promised that I didn't have to do parties, and that I didn't have to have a big supply of inventory. And so I basically was like, okay, great, let's do it. And so I jumped in and I started on the products, and it was probably just about a month that I wasn't taking naps with my kids anymore in the afternoon. And some of the things that I just kind of chalked up to being a mom with a bunch of kids, thinking it was normal, like I was just kind of getting older, or I had a bunch of kids, those things were gone. And so that made me really excited that I had something cool on my hands. And so I just started calling people and texting people and saying, I don't really know why these products work. I just know they work, and you should do this with me. It's so fun. And people did. And so it was about a year into my Plexus business that I was able to, as a stay-at-home mom without a college degree, making 6 figures. And I had a life just crisis. I went through a divorce, and I found myself as a single mom with 3 little kids. But in the midst of just a tragedy and a crisis, I was able to not have to kind of go into this desperate mode of trying to find a job and trying to take care of, all these kids, and, probably working 3 jobs and feeding them all ramen noodles every night. I was able to have a house for them and still be a stay-at-home mom and take care of them. And so I remember when I first kind of was joining Plexus, talking to my friend Christy Hall, and we were both saying, we don't really have whys in this. Like, we're just doing it because we're making money and the products work. Why wouldn't you do this? But I found a why at that point. And so then one of our other friends on our team, Timmy, a few months later said, oh, you should go on a date with my friend Eli. We've known each other for like 10 or 12 years, or her husband had. And so I was like, I don't know. It's kind of soon. And she said, well, he has a boat on Lake Washita. And I was like, well, what's one date? So we went on a date.
I will say I was Timmy Yancey's very first ambassador. It's like my claim to fame.
That's right.
She did hook me up on some Plexus products. I was having some stomach issues, some health problems. Gut health was completely out of whack. So she said, hey, give this a try. I was super skeptical. Like, man, there's no way this little pink drink and these little pills are going to help me. But I'll give it a shot. So
you had surgeries. You were on like $300
I was
worth
on
of
prescription medication every month. I couldn't go without taking. And I thought, there's no way that this is going to change anything I have going on. But if she's going to vouch for it, I'll just try it. So, yeah, that's how I kind of jumped in, started taking the products, and got a lot healthier. Gut health was a lot better. Lost, 25 or so, 30 pounds. And, I went from silver to diamond and just meeting one chick. That was pretty cool.
So we, so in the last few years, we'll be married 3 years in March. And so be careful. And that tagline says, what if this could change everything?
This pink drink really
just might change it all.
For us.
Just might change it all. But we love being on here and hearing everyone's stories, and just the different ways that Plexus can help all kinds of people. So we're going to pass it on to some of our favorite people in Plexus, the Castanedas.
Hey, everybody. Okay, so we thought we'd keep it like super real, because the date night I wore my robe, because literally our date nights are like us in bed watching movies in a robe, right? I also brought strawberries and whipped cream, because we never really ever do that, but I thought it was funny. Okay, he thinks I'm like psycho over here. I'm the extrovert, he's the introvert, if you haven't already picked that up. Okay, so but we met nearly 10 years ago, actually on the beach in Galveston, and kind of came together quickly. But what's really funny is I think it was about 4 years prior to us meeting on that beach, he actually tried to pick me up at a bar in, where I went to college, and I gave him a hard pass, like a hard pass. So when we reconnected on the beach 4 years later, I did not remember him, but he came up and he's like, oh my gosh, I think I know you. And I was like, no, you don't. He was like, yes, I
To be
do.
fair, it was a contest, like worst pickup lines. That's why it was a hard pass.
Okay, that doesn't make me feel good either. Okay. But he came up to me and said the worst pickup line. He goes, okay, so I was really, really nervous because I did think you were pretty. But he was like, there was a contest that me and my friends were doing, and I was going to do the worst pickup line, and hopefully you would think it was funny. And well, I didn't, and I quickly just turned away and walked off. But God had different plans for us, and we met 4 years later, and it was a fast romance for us. Okay, so here's our prize. Our prize is couples cash. So kind of like the folks, we had a similar idea of, you know what, go splurge on a hotel, get out of your house, go spend a night downtown in a downtown city nearby you, or get a babysitter, whatever you want, get a couples massage, but we're going to do couples cash for you. So what you have to do is comment in the little comment box what your dream romantic getaway destination would be. Ooh, fun, right? Okay, so our story. We started about 5 years ago with Plexus. So way before like Facetune existed and filters were like popular, my mom posted a picture of herself on Facebook. And I could quickly tell that something had changed. She was radiant. Her skin was glowing. She looked like she had lost 10 pounds or so. And so I immediately picked up the phone and I said, Mom, you're holding out on me. What are you doing? And she was hesitant to tell me that it was Plexus because she knows her skeptical daughter would go research all the ingredients and look up the company and tell her to run away, right? So she was like, well, it's this thing called Plexus. And so I quickly did just what she thought I would do. And I went and looked at all the ingredients. I'm kind of picky on what we put into our bodies. That's why this is kind of a joke, right? But I'm kind of particular. And everything was like, check, 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 check. And so I was like, okay, so there's got to be something wrong with the business. I have a master's in business, so I love to look up business models, learn about the corporate executive team, figure out what this company is about. And so I started looking into the company and I was like, okay, check, check, check. And so I was like, okay, fine. I will get the products, but I'm not going to do the business. Like I was a hard no on the business. Can you tell I'm a litlittle hard-headed, maybe a little bit? So I was a hard no on it, but I joined to get the products at the cheapest cost because at that time in our life, we had just had our first baby. She was 3 months old. We had just moved to a new city, so I didn't know anybody. He was working. I had taken off to stay with the baby, but we were living on a tight income. We were living on a single income that we were not used to. And so
like dollar store grocery.
Dollar store groceries, yeah. And like egg salad sandwiches for dinner. If you're from the South, you know what I'm talking about, right? Egg salad sandwiches. That was our meals, right? And so we had to kind of squeeze the money in. But I was like, I'm not interested in the business. I don't want to do the parties, going door to door and selling little trinkets or whatever, not bashing anybody out there. But that was just something I wasn't interested in. Well, I start the products and within 3 days, now mind you, I started the products completely for vanity reasons. I wanted to lose weight. I lost my baby weight pretty easily, but I was just fat before I had a baby. So I wanted to lose some weight for that reason. And so I had no clue that there was like this huge array of things that could happen with Plexus health-wise. So on day 3, I just kind of felt called. I really feel like it was a God nudge. I don't know if you've ever had one of those, but I just trusted that nudge. And I posted on Facebook, all right, y'all, I haven't been on here in years. I don't even know who's looking at this stuff, but I started Plexus. Anybody out there know what I'm talking about? But I'm on day 3 and I don't need a nap. Like, this is crazy. Is this legit? Like, I think that was my first post. And from that very first post, I got my very first ambassador because she wanted the same thing. She was like, energy, sign me up. And so I started just kind of sharing my story on social media. I didn't know very much. So I shared what I knew about it, what it was, what it wasn't, how it was changing my life. It was very much so kind of a blog, just sharing me with Plexus. My first month, I got a paycheck. And very, very funny that Chris McCall said this, but I opened up the paycheck and it was 4 figures. And I literally looked at him, and it was paper paychecks back then. And I said, oh my God, what have I done? I think I've done something illegal. Literally the same thing that McCall said. And David, what'd you say?
cash it.
Cash it. He was like, cash it. Cash that puppy. So we did. And then he kind of sat down, and mind you, what was your expectation when I said I was going to do this?
I thought maybe you'd make like $100 a month.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I kind of outdid that a little bit. But yeah,
I was like, it would be really cool if you could pay the electric bill. And that's about $150.
Yeah, back then. So he was supportive. He was always supportive, but he was skeptical. He's like, all right, honey, you do you, all right, have fun. And so anyway, fast forward, after that first paycheck, I think his jaw dropped further than my jaw dropped. And we thought, what if we got serious about this? What if we really tried? So 4 months down the road, I was making like 4 times that. And I surprised him with a belated honeymoon and said, let's go on that romantic getaway. So it's kind of fitting that that was my question for you guys. That was our big purchase with Plexus. So it really enhanced our lives in a way just to connect as a couple. And so then we kind of teamed up at that point. And what's really interesting for us, we understand that working with your spouse can be challenging, right, at times, especially if you're both at home all the time with all the kids all the time. But what was really fun was we learned each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we really learned how to work as a team when it came to business. And we found out that we're actually really good at that together. So for us, sure, we had arguments as a married couple would, but for us, it really brought us together as we grew our business. So fast forward to 1 year, we hit the rank of Emerald. And that's when, and I was well on my way to Sapphire and Emerald. You're making, around 5 figures. You get, you earn a Lexus and Hawaii trips and all these fun stuff. And that's when David said, okay, what if we teamed up and we created a business for him? 12 months later after that, he went diamond, which also helped me go diamond. So we're a double diamond couple. And once you get so far past diamond, you can re-enter. And I'm really close to emerald on that 3rd leg. So when I say Plexus changed our life from egg salad sandwiches to, I don't know, we just bought a ranch with horses, which is like a passion of mine. Really, truly, the sky is the limit. I haven't even touched base on our health testimonies. Do you want to talk anything about your health testimony?
Well, I had like RA, and when we started this, I had stopped all my medication, and I was like in a lot of pain, and I started drinking this, and after a while, I like really didn't believe it was gonna work, and then probably the 2nd month, I like finally woke up. I was like, oh, I feel pretty good. And then like I had to say, told you. She told me, told you so.
Yeah. So to get him to take Plexus, y'all, I had to set the pink drink out, pre-mix it, put his pills on the counter for him, lay it out because he would not take it. He was like, you just take it. But I was like kind of forcing it to him. And so finally he woke up one day and he was like, all right, it worked. So the wife is always right?
It's
That's
like
the lesson that we learned.
She's never made me breakfast, ever. Ever.
I won't.
But she'll make me the pink drink.
I did. So he's reduced his joint pains. I've come off certain medications as well. My anxiety has really gone down. We've both lost a good amount of weight, and we just feel awesome. Since then, we've had 2 more babies. So we have 3 babies under the age of 5. So if you think you're busy and you can't do this, think again, my friends.
With another one on the way.
No, sir. No, sir. No, that shop is closed. That's a hard no right there. But anyway, okay, that's a little bit of our story. I really encourage you guys, if you are feeling the nudge to do this or to try, please do, because you never know what a short 2, 3, 4, 5 years could do for your family. It really could shift the entire trajectory for you. Okay, 2 of our friends that we absolutely love. We have funny inside jokes about shoulder pads, and we call each other really loud names. The Carties, we are so happy to hear your story, friends.
Thank you. It's been so great to hear everyone's stories, and just really every single person that spoke, I was like, that could be us. That could be us. As you can tell, we're a 3rd party right now because our date nights consist of a baby.
Yep.
He is number 5, so he is the youngest of our 5. So, Jared, why don't you start how we met?
So we met at Troy State University, which is now Troy University. I heard a bunch of girls in my suite mates. I had a nice dorm in my freshman year. I heard a bunch of girls in the other room, and I walked in there. What was your first thought, Julia?
I admit he had nothing but a towel on, and I thought, oh, finally a good-looking guy at Troy.
Yeah.
That's where it stopped.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but when I saw her, I was like, man, that girl I'd like to go out with. So I asked my neighbor, and I said, tell me about her. He's like, well, she's got a boyfriend. I'm like, it's not a big deal. She's like, well, her dad's a pastor. I'm like, well, my neighbor's a pastor. They're like, well, she's a Christian. I'm like, I'm a Christian. But in all reality, I wasn't a believer. And as I saw her life and some other people's lives, God used these relationships and my pursuit, which Julia likes to call
stalking. Just like Chris and Susie were talking. My point of this guy just started stalking me, and I wanted nothing to do with him at the time. So,
but in my freshman year, I became a believer. I became saved, and God just allowed me to be discipled by some men. And as Julie and I grew in our friendship, He just transformed me to be a leader before I could be her boyfriend, or eventually her husband, and then father of 5 children with her.
Yeah, and just a funny little note of us meeting. Because people are like, where did it change, Julia? I was in a Bible study, and they had me, very funny, it kind of makes me laugh, write down every quality I would want in a husband. And I'll never forget where I was standing. I was at Alpha Gam, and Alpha Gam's out there. And I looked out my paper, and I literally started crying because I realized Jared Carty had every single one of those qualities. And I begged, I was like, God, don't make me marry Jared Carty. Don't make me marry him. Only because he is definitely the extrovert of the relationship. He was so loud. Everybody knew him. And I was the girl that just kind of sat in the corner of the room and chatted with my girlfriends and didn't speak to anyone. So we are going to give away a prize today. When Brooke asked me what we were going to do, she said something about massage oil, and I was like, oh, no, we're not doing that kind of prize.
Yeah.
But so I said, what about Fandango gift card? Because actually another way he caught me was he wrote movie reviews every weekend in college, and he told me he got 2 free tickets, and he would take me to the movies every single Friday night or every single weekend to see a movie. So we still love going to movies. We sneak him into the movies still. So we want you to write in the chat, how many children do you have? How many little ones do you have? You can even use your pets if they're your kids. I know Brooke. I know y'all's puppy is your kid.
Met y'all's kid last night.
Yes, he ran around our house last night. But tell us how many kids you have, and we will pick that prize for that Fandango so you can have a movie night with your husband or wife. So our Plexus story started about 5 years ago. We were living in Dallas, Texas at the time, and Jared had been in the ministry. He was a youth and college pastor for about 9 years. And early on our marriage, we got invited to parties, to those network marketing things, and I would feel really pressured to buy for my friends. I'm a people pleaser.
And I forbade it. And
I would have to go home and tell him how I spent our grocery money on like kid clothes. I still kind of do that right here. And so, but we just made a pact. We said, you know what? We will never sell anything. I never want to be that person that invites people to your house. You feel weird. My friends feel pressure to buy for me. So,
and throughout the years in ministry and the relationships we built, we felt like through MLMs and different things that we were going to sacrifice the relationships we had built by trying to get people to join us to do that. So that's why we're like, we're not going to do this. At least I was.
So we found ourselves in Dallas, and a good friend, Andrea Mitchell, in Sunday school. I met her in Sunday school. She started posting about Plexus. I had never heard of it, but I knew I didn't want anything to do with it. I found the glorious button of unfollow. So I unfollowed her, and I had a rule. If you've sold something on my Facebook, I unfollowed you. I didn't care what it was. Still, sometimes I'm that way. I'm not really, but I would just click unfollow. So I didn't want anything to do with it. But months passed, and she saw that our 2 youngest at the time, they were 2 and 4 at the time, had severe skin issues. So she gave me some product. I rolled my eyes. Still not interested. By that time, every woman that I knew in the DFW area was selling Plexus. Every single one of them, I swear. So we kind of probably just made fun of it to each other.
I mocked it hard.
But we found ourselves just kind of hitting rock bottom. I would definitely say it was rock bottom for us. Jared had lost his job. He was doing a sales job in Dallas. And we found ourselves with 4 young kids. I had a huge passion, still do, to be a stay-at-home mom. It's the only thing I've ever wanted to do. And we needed money. And so he got a job here in Mobile and moved back to Alabama. But I went to breakfast with Andrea and just kind of asked her, I was like, so how much money are you making with this Plexus stuff? And she told me, and I about fell out my chair because like you've heard tonight, people make really great money, even at the beginning. And so I called him. I said, listen, if these products work and our friends back here in Texas are making money, can we do this? And I don't think you were really in a position to say no.
No, I was sleeping on a friend's couch while they were back in Texas. So, and I said, yeah. And then I was like, well, you didn't sign up today, did you?
And I bounced our checkbook because we didn't have the money. But the thing is the products worked. My kids were on guinea pigs. We had started them on the probiotic. Their skin cleared up. And I was just really excited. So I hit the ground floor running because I knew I had to make at least $1,000 a month not to have to get a teaching job. I have a teaching degree. So we moved back to Alabama about 2 weeks after I joined with $36 to our name.
And I'll be honest, I was kind of like David. I was like, if you could just make $150 a month, $200 a month, that'd be worth the time you put into it.
Yeah. So I'll never forget our first paycheck because I just wanted it to be enough to cover my first month of products because I knew I had to be on the products. So, but by then it wasn't early. Mine was on the phone and I got that email and it was to the penny enough to not only cover our first month products, but also our first month of rent here in Mobile. And that was such an answered prayer because we really didn't know how we were going to even pay rent. And it was right then and there that I knew this is what the Lord had given us, not only just to make ends meet that month, because we had always lived month to month, but really to change the future for our family. A few months passed and Jared hated his sales job. He was not born to be a salesperson. This to me is not a sales job. And I jokingly one day said, Jared, why don't you just quit your job? You don't like it.
She was intending like a week or two. I came home and they was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, and I was like, why aren't you going to work? He's like, I quit my job. And I was like, I really wasn't serious about it. But since then, he's been a stay-at-home dad for about 3 years now. And reached the top of the company. And it really has just everything for us financially. You've probably been staring at Reese. Look at him. Because I would stare at him too. We have always had a heart for adoption. And honestly, pre-Plexus, I really kind of just got to where it just wasn't in the cards for us. And then as we started being blessed financially, I was able to support friends financially through adoption. I thought, okay, this is what the Lord's planned for us. So we were making money. We're able to bless others, support their adoption. But, we have 4 kids. We had 4 kids in 5 years. But we, all 4 of our children last year at Christmas actually asked for a baby brother separately. Like they didn't plan it. And I looked at Jared, I was like, they all want a baby brother.
Not happening.
And we actually went on a trip to Israel. And both of us there kind of just started feeling the nudge that this was the time to adopt. We have the financial freedom. We have the time freedom. When else are they going to have both Jared and I home to make a business and a baby work? Honestly, it's a perfect scenario in that sense. But that I like to tell people, I'm on so many threads and there's absolutely nothing wrong with fundraising and I still love to support others, but we were able to completely, I didn't have to raise. And people have asked me, what t-shirts are you selling? I'm like, I don't sell t-shirts. I get to sell products that change people's health. I get to build a team and help my team members build a successful business. And through that, we're able to adopt completely debt-free. So that's our story. It's completely changed our life. It's completely changed the future of little Reese here. And it's been a great day. I think we've totally gone over our time, so I'm going to give it to you, Brooke.
Those stories were seriously absolutely incredible. I love hearing from all of those couples. Thank you guys so much for sharing. Those literally give me chills, honey.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, if you feel skeptical tonight, I totally get it. We were there. Like, we were completely skeptical. I really actually made her wait months to try the sample we were given because I was so skeptical about it. And I often have thought since that day that we did take the plunge. We did try it, I've often thought, what if we didn't? And that thought is honestly alarming. What if we didn't? What if we never tried it? She would still be sick to this day. She would still not sleep. We had tried everything. We had tried all kinds of things. If we had not taken that skeptical and put it aside, man, who knows what would have happened. It's a crazy thought.
So I would encourage you, when you hop off this call, maybe you're going out for a real date night, maybe you're cuddled up in your robe or you're on your bed, but have a real talk with your Valentine and just ask, like, what if all these couples are not crazy? Or what if they are, but what if this really works? What if this could change everything? Because truly, you really only regret the chances that you don't take. And this has changed our life so much, and we want the same for all of you. So happy Valentine's Day Eve, happy date night, and say yes to this incredible opportunity. Thanks for watching.